Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Scrapmaster's Paradise, and today is week number 13 Project Life Process video. I am seriously catching up. Over this weekend, I ended up scrapbooking 4 weeks worth and filming it for you guys, so I'm going to catch up on voiceovers and get the videos out for you guys as quickly as I can. And I printed photos for a bunch of other weeks, so I have like 4 weeks left that I actually need to print photos for, and then the rest I have to scrapbook, and then I'll be caught up for the year. I have just been printing off a week at a time and putting a little piece of paper marking the date and the week. So I have my week 13 photos here, and this is where I had stopped scrapbooking when I was keeping up with it earlier in the year. So I have some photos here that I had printed at Costco, and then the rest of them I printed at home with my new printer. And so I will just look through these. I'm planning on doing just a 2-page spread with these, and then the blue bonnet photos, I plan on doing those as separate layouts. So I'm just looking through, deciding which photos I'm going to keep and which ones I'm going to discard. I do have a couple of duplicates between the 2 stacks of photos that I printed before and then recently. So I'm just going to flip through these and decide on which ones I'm keeping and which ones I'm not going to keep, and I get them arranged on my layout. Ended up having a lot of 4 photo collages done. I used PicFrame for that. I'll link to my app video that I've made in the past. I decided to cut up the little photos. They end up being 2 inches by 3 inches. And I decided to put them down the center of my layout and kind of alternate where they're going to go. And I will put journaling card pieces on the opposite little sections of these. Next, I flipped through journaling cards. I've got some Freckled Fawn, I've got some Elle Studio, I've got some older things, and I just go ahead and cut some down to fill up those spaces, and then I fill up the rest of the spaces, and I cut the footage at this point because I really didn't want my battery to run out, so I cut some of these parts that are just kind of time consuming. So once I got my journaling cards arranged, I go ahead and work on my journaling, and this is the, I guess the first week that I didn't do any journaling using the Collect app, and I don't have much writing actually on the photos. I just started dabbling with writing on the photos, which I ended up really liking, so for future weeks you will see a lot more writing on the photos, and I'll sprinkle in Collect app things still. So this was just a really unusual week. I was kind of playing around with different things, and I was pulling photos from photos that I had previously had printed, and then I had to fill up the gaps. So all that to say, most of my writing this week is obviously going to be handwritten. I just use a slick writer. I find that that's my favorite of the journaling pens that I've used, and I end up pulling out some of these Elle Studio labels to do a lot of my journaling. These are just cut apart labels. As I was flipping through labels and die cut shapes, I end up finding a couple of the little Elle Studio die cuts that I want to use, so I go ahead and pull those off as I'm working on my journaling. Now this card has a little circle that says today, and it has a place for the date. I want to have this part kind of hang over the photo, so I get my X-Acto knife and I trim around that little circle so that I can have the picture kind of nestled underneath the little flap that I cut. Go ahead and add a little ATG to hold the photo down. And then I just continue on working on my journaling. I found that I needed some smaller labels, so I just pulled out this sheet of Freckled Fawn labels. I think this came in the March kit. I'll do some journaling directly on some of the journaling cards. And after adding my journaling, I decide to arrange the journaling card sections under the picture or over the picture that they're talking about. So I end up flipping these two so that they kind of line up like 3x4s normally would line up. Next, I'm just going to add some cute mini titles using some alphas that I got from Freckled Fawn. These came in a kit previously. I really like the size of these. They are those vellum alphabets, so if you layer them, you get the darker purple on the parts that are layered. I found that my first sheet's not cut through all the way, and so I'm kind of fighting with it, trying to tear the pieces just right. I didn't want to use my X-Acto knife to have to finicky cut around these, so I just was really careful about how I'm pulling these off the sheet. And then the last bit of journaling I did was add a date to that photo that's the horizontal 3x4, and I just had to look it up on my phone to add that. So off camera, I went ahead and attached everything down to my 12x12 cardstock. I attached all the label shapes and different embellishments that I had already added, and now it is time to decorate. First start pulling embellishments from my little sections that I have. I will do a video very soon for you guys showing my updated desk and updated scrapbook stuff. I did a huge purge and organization before I started printing photos. So I have a section of stuff that is stuff I want to use up. It's like half packs or packs that just have a couple of things left. So I'm pulling mostly from that. Do end up pulling out some new Freckled Fawn stuff as well. So I've got the June kits here. I still have not received my July kits. They got lost in the mail and had to be resent out. I've had a big problem with my mail in our rental house, so I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully we will get moved very soon so that doesn't happen again. This is the second time my kits have gone missing, so not fun, but I do have my June kit to work with. I am pulling out some of my favorite June kit items, which are these enamel hearts. They are super duper cute and the colors are nice and fun. And so I pull out a bunch of those and just kind of sprinkle them on my layout. I also add in some of the summer chipboard phrases that came in the June kit. I really like these. And what I've been doing is I've been peeling the backer off and just adding my own adhesive. So it makes them a little bit less dimensional that way. Next, I pull out my container that's going to contain my more recent Freckled Fawn items before I separate them into categories of similar embellishment types. So I'm going to just pull out some of these cute little puffy cameras that are super duper cute. And I'm just going to add a couple to my layout. After getting those cameras added, I call this layout done, so I'm going to show it to you up close a little bit so you can see everything. I really like how these weeks have been working out to where they're very, very simple. It's just the 2 pages, and I feel like it's so much more manageable now that I've kind of tried to simplify and minimalize my process, and I've really been liking it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to have a lot more process videos for you guys coming up soon as I can get these voiceovers done. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.